Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Matic. Before we jump into the price section, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff now. So I am just being mindful with Matic, even though we have had this move up and we did find support in this green box area here. We did come down to that 618 area down here, actually to bit in that just past that golden pocket and then started to move up. I am still looking out for that possibility. We could still face rejection here and head lower. For as long as we remain within this channel, I am being cautious of that fact. If we did get another move to the upside here, potentially we could look to sell off if we fail to actually take and hold this level, and this could be seen as a sign of weakness. So what I am looking out for here is the potential to actually come up here towards this yellow 121, which is this 141.99. And basically within this, there's a couple of we could potentially do it as a 1, 2, get a 3, 4, and a 5, and then we look to actually target out this area. That would be an interesting zone because it would also be a 786 retracement, this red 140.63. So this is something I'm keeping an eye out here. You know, as long as we hold this B wave here, potentially at this 107.55, we can look for that possibility of that move to the upside in a five-wave structure. So that could become a more bullish move if it extends out. Potentially, we could get this as a 1-2, 1-2, and then we look to move away. But I am also a bit worried by the way that this move is developing here, because it is also possible within this we could see something like this play out as an A, B, and this is actually a short C. I would have preferred it to come up to this 0.618, this 127.70, but I'm just keeping an eye on it. If this is an ABC completed here, potentially we could start to form a triangle in here where this becomes an B, C, D, E. Breaking below this B wave would invalidate that. No, actually, this would be, once this completes, basically breaking below this low point would then invalidate it, or actually pushing up past this high over here, this 124.99. If we do break down much deeper here, it becomes less likely that this is actually playing out. But this is something I'm just keeping an eye on. If we just remain range bound within this zone, potentially, if we maintain something like this as a trend line, potentially we could actually look to continue to hold this zone and bounce around in this area, form a triangle, and then that could actually be a B wave triangle, in which case we would be looking for that possibility to actually complete and or correct to the downside again in the C wave. It is also possible, we could argue that instead of looking at it that way, this could be an A, this could be an A, it wouldn't be, yeah, I mean, if we're going to look at the triangle the other way around, I would have to say that the B wave wasn't completed. So if we do actually see a three-wave move like this, potentially that could then be our B wave if we're looking at the other way around, A, B, C, D, E. So there's a couple of possibilities here. The triangle's not my primary one, but it is something worth keeping an eye out on. If we do hold this B wave location, potentially we can still look to push up one more time here. And like I said, that 1-to-1 of this A wave is up here towards this 141.99. However, we also need to just bear in mind that within this, if we measure this move, let's drop it on this low, 1-to-1 would actually be this $1.30. So that would be, that would be that 1-to-1 off this current low. So if we do move up, keep an eye on that area. If we fail to achieve a bigger impulsive structure, potentially we could get a rejection. That would actually put us right in this golden pocket as well, this 131.22 to this 129.10. So I'm keeping an eye out on this. Potentially we could be looking for this to play out. We could see one more leg to the upside here, or alternatively, this C wave could actually be completed here. Or, in fact, we could see this develop into a WXY. Either way, if it's a WXY, that 1-to-1 remains the same. It's just that instead of looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to the upside, we could just get a three-wave move up instead. And then that would look to actually complete that structure. So that's what we're looking for over here. It is possible we still have another leg down here. The problem is if we're looking for that bullish aspect where we're looking at this potentially as a 1 and a 2, if we start to lose this 87.41 area, it becomes less likely that that is going to actually play out, just because of the fact once we start to push down, past these levels, the probabilities start to become less that we're actually going to see that continuation, especially with the fact that the 1-to-1 is down here at this 75.14 or for the current high. If we did have to move up, that would potentially move this 1-to-1 figure up here and, potentially could move it into this box area. And then we could actually look at this whole move as a bigger corrective structure, which just come back down into this zone. So that's basically the idea here. As long as we actually hold this low here, we can argue we could be starting to form bullish structure to the upside. So we're going to discuss that now. And basically within this, what I'm looking for is that possibility of a breakout. So we're currently sitting right in this potential support zone here. I have drawn that line, obviously. I mean, that's only just got 3 points now. I suppose I could extend it back to this one. But basically, what I want to see is if we get a reaction here. We've come down to that 702. If we start to lose this 1111 zone, basically this becomes less likely, like with the other option. Once we lose this 786 at this 1111, it becomes less likely that this is going to play out. For the most part, to the downside, it does look like a three-wave move. So there is possibility we could have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a B wave, and then looking to actually push up for either a C wave or wave 3. So the idea here is that potentially within this structure, we've set a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2, and then we're looking for that possibility to push to the upside here. If we do actually look to push up higher here towards this zone of this 142.71, then potentially what we could actually have here is a bigger impulsive structure where we could have this third come in, looking for a fourth, and then possibly a fifth to the upside here, which could look to actually push us up into this zone of this 151.36 to this 146.00 area. That wouldn't quite reach that typical third wave target we'd be looking for, though, for this structure here. So we'd have to be careful that if we did just see a move like this, even when we form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, this could basically just be a three-wave zigzag, and then we look to push down. So keep an eye on that area. That could put us right in that rejection area. It would actually put us above that 786. So yeah, I mean, once we start to push up into these zones, it becomes more likely we're going to break this high. But really, until we actually take this high point of this 156.84, we need to be aware that this can continue to look to break down here. So we'll have to just monitor these key levels. So the first one that I'm looking for is this $1.1101. If we lose that, it becomes less likely. And then basically, if we start to lose this 109, 107.48, that would invalidate this move over here as a 1 and a 2. And then we'd have to look at this potentially as just a corrective move to the upside, and then looking for that possibility to break down. However, there will still be the potential that even if it is a corrective move and this is an A, potentially a B, and a C, we could still find support in this zone of this $1 region to this 108.30. So potentially we could still come back down into this zone. It's just for an impulse. I wouldn't really want to lose this 111 area. Once we start to break that, like I said, it starts to become less likely. So this is going to be our key zone to hold if we're looking for that impulsive structure if we lose this 107.48. What we do need to be careful of, however, is, there is that possibility to break down here. We need to keep an eye on this, especially with the current structure. I'm actually going to take this chart off here. Within this current structure here, I'm going to turn on the sell-off. Where is it? There. We have to be careful for as long as we remain below these highs here, because of the way this move is developed, it is possible we could be forming 1, 2, 1, potentially we come up for a 2. So we've actually already come up into this 116.66 area. Basically, if we fail to hold this low here, there's more probability that we're actually going to see a continuation of a sell-off if we just break down directly here. If we form a three-wave move to the upside here, keep an eye on this zone of this 1955 to this 166 region. Potentially this could offer us resistance, and we could actually look to continue and sell off lower. So what I would be looking for here primarily would be looking for that possibility that if we do break down here, whether this move actually manages to reach this zone of this 102.97. If we start to break down past that area, then basically what we'd be looking for would be that possibility of having an additional fourth and a fifth. We'd have to wait for confirmation of this fourth wave. We can't take it as gospel just because we crossed this 1618 that we're going to get a fourth wave. We need to wait for that confirmation and then get the good structure to follow. So basically, this is looking for this as a possible five-wave structure to the downside. So in the whole move here, I'm just keeping an eye out on that possibility that even if we do move up here higher here, even if this does come up one more time and potentially we look to target up some of these higher areas here, potentially we can still look at this as a potential one. This would then be a two, and then we look to sell off deeper. Alternatively, it could be a C wave, and just a three-wave move. So the thing that's the one-to-one of that move is actually here at this zone of this 0.7557, and basically that is looking for that possibility of that this move being one-to-one of this as an A wave. However, if it does break down deeper want to this 5538, potentially that could then actually mean that we're in a bigger structure. So this is the danger about having structure like this above us. It can always potentially look to continue. If we did form a triangle here, it wouldn't, this would then be invalidated unless it was going to become something like a diagonal pattern. But basically a triangle couldn't be a wave two. So if we do form a triangle in here, that would invalidate this possibility of being a five-wave move to the downside as we have it currently marked. So that's what we need to be aware of. Really, if we do break down, basically what I would be looking for on the bigger picture here is that possibility that, we could be looking to form, let me come back onto the daily. We could be looking to form a C wave to the downside. Technically speaking, 114 would be the zone we could be looking for as a one-to-one target. However, technically speaking, it can stop anywhere from that 0.618. So let me just change these around a little bit. 786 and 854. So that 0.618 would actually be this 3979. Lower down would be this 2741, 2357, and the 1705 range. It's a long way to go to get here, and it is also possible that within this structure we could find support higher up here. So we need to be careful with that. But this is still a viable option. It hasn't invalidated, so we need to just keep an eye on it. If we do break down and we are looking towards this, it depends how exactly the structure forms. But if we do just actually form a three-wave move to the downside here, potentially actually even a five-wave move to the downside, we could argue that within this we have some kind of a flat correction where this is an A. We'd have to say that would be A, that would be B. Yeah, so it would have to be something like this as an A, B, and then a C wave to the downside. In which case we could still come down into this range as a five-wave move and then still look to reverse. And that would be looking at this playing out something like this as a five-wave structure and then looking to actually take us down into this zone. Actually, I can throw that overlay on and we can see. So that third wave would actually look to bring us down to this 5538 area. Let me come into a smaller time frame so I can see the wave structures. So if we did form it exactly like I have it plotted here, potentially we could actually come down into this lower range here of the 786 to the 702. Obviously, it depends exactly how the structure would form, and we don't have confirmation of this. And invalidation would come by crossing this high point again at the top of this move, this 15589. So yeah, I mean, this is just something we're keeping an eye on. We'll have to keep you posted once we get a bit more information here. But yeah, we'll try to keep you up to date as best we can. Okay, so for the most part at the moment, I'm looking for this continuation up. If we fail to hold this zone, the secondary support that I'm looking for is in between this 108 and this $1. Failing to hold that really starts to push the limits of this, looking to break to the upside here. And then finally, invalidation comes at this 94.26 range. So keep an eye on those key zones. Okay, everyone, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.